some plug and light switches that all match. So Kitty nav to the page.
You play.
So last week, that's it. So last
Evening or evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Marshall. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Evening. What's happening, Paul?
Good evening, Mr. Marshall.
Good to see you, brother.
Of course.
Have you started the course yet?
Yeah, I've signed up last week. I signed last week,
Excellent.
and this is my first dealings with it. I looked at some of the material, and this is my first chat with you since starting the course.
Ah, excellent, man. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have quite a few new students joining us because they joined last week. So big up all those students who this is their first Q&A. Big up all the returnees as well. So yeah, we do this weekly, and this is your chance to ask me any questions about the course content or anything really with regards to Black holistic health. I'm starting to theme them as opposed to just allowing you guys to ask whatever question. I'm starting to theme them so we have something to talk about. But you guys can ask any question on anything really. This is for you guys to, you know, ask me anything. So the theme of today's one is about hormones. Like you guys can ask anything you want with regards to any aspect of the course or Black holistic health in general. So as usual, you can ask questions. Yeah, let me just quickly do that. So as usual, you guys can ask questions in the chat, or you can unmute your mic and ask a question. Yeah, I'm trying to theme them now. So every week I'm gonna try and make sure that there's a theme that we can talk about. So last week was allergies. We talked about allergies. We talked about how to reverse allergies naturally. And I shared that video as well. So if you're not in the Facebook group, it was shared in the Facebook group and it was shared in the WhatsApp groups as well. So as long as you're in our WhatsApp groups or in the Facebook group, you should be able to see that video if you didn't get to check it out last week. Really good video about how to reverse allergies naturally. I talked about the fact that I suffered from hay fever for over 30 years. And then after I detoxed and done a juice fast, it took me 2 weeks to get rid of hay fever. Literally 2 weeks. So yeah, thanks for that, Catherine. Yeah, having the theme. But again, this is all about you guys. So sometimes I don't have a theme and then you guys ask me questions throughout the week and it kind of builds my theme. So we'll go with that. So big up all the people who are returning, big up all the people who this is your first time. All the people that are working through the course, remember, take your time. There's no time limit. You've literally got the content for the rest of the year. So anything that you're not understanding, remember, you can download the worksheets, work through the worksheets. If you're still not understanding stuff, this is where the Q&A works. And you can go over the modules again. So there's people that completed the course months ago and they're literally going over the course again. Black men, 17 times more prone. What was the source? Okay, I'll look for that. Well, the source was, see if I can find it. Ethnicity, Facts and Figures website. So I'll just quickly share my screen. So this is the source, Ethnicity, Facts and Figures website. Literally, anytime I talk about facts and figures with regards to Black people in the UK, I get it from this source. However, I pick out what I think is relevant for my talks. Now, there's a lot of information there. You can click on COVID, you can click on education skills, you can click on health, mental health, and go through that, mental health, and then there's a lot of information. So it's just going through that, detentions by ethnicity. So there's a lot of information, and then this is where I get my graphs from. So it's all there, it's just picking it out. And it's a lot of reading. That's why with me, I like to go with just the graphs that they show. Because there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of information on there. All right, so for the people that are just joining us, welcome. I know some people, can you put it in the chat? All right, so for the people that are joining us, if this is your first time, if you're working through the course, remember, take your time going through the course. A lot of information on the course, but these Q&As will help. So anything that you don't understand and you need an answer to it, this is where it will help. So making sure that you're trying to, even if you miss it, like we record these, so I'm gonna start putting them up, trying to watch over the Q&A. So if you have a question, you can email it to me, I can answer it during the Q&A and that sort of stuff. But like I said, I'm gonna try and start to theme these. So last week's theme was allergies. This week's theme is hormones. Now I know we've got some new students who may not be on that module yet, but instead of me saying what hormones are, some students who have completed the course, if someone was to ask you, what do hormones do? What would be an easy way to answer that? Someone who's completed the course, what would be an easy way to explain hormones to?
Hormones give signals to your body, like give directions to something like that anyway.
Excellent. Give signals to your body, yep. Messengers, yep. Instructions, yeah. Yeah, so signals to your body, provide instructions. That's the word I use on the course. Provide instructions. So they give your cells instructions, yeah? So the way I like to explain it is, think of your body as like a building site. And I'm hoping this analogy kind of resonates with people, because when you're at a building site, they're literally building your body. Something's happening on a building site, they're building your house or whatever. That's how your body is, that's how your cells are. Your cells always got something to do inside of your body. They're always building and repairing and doing stuff inside of your body. So if I was to, let me go to share screen, just quickly show you something. If I type in Google and I type builders on site, see if this analogy works. So look at these builders on site, yeah? You see how before they do any work, they have to go by the instructions. They're given instructions on what to do. So look here, what are we supposed to be doing here? So think about this as being your cells. This is the hormone that gives your cells instructions on what to do with your body, yeah? Or inside of your body, yeah? Nearly every single one of these, before they start to do any work, they have to read through the instructions on what to do on the building site. They can't just do whatever they like. They have to go by whatever instructions they're given. Yeah? What are we supposed to be doing here? Okay, here's our instructions. Now, what if? Now, these instructions usually come from the same company. So they're contractors, they're given the right instructions, they go and do the work on the building site. Now, what if these instructions are wrong? Or what if these instructions weren't sent to them at the right time? That's gonna mess up whatever work they're supposed to be doing. So that's the same with your cells. If your cells are not getting the right instructions, it's gonna mess up whatever work they're supposed to be doing internally.
Less exposure.
So I hope that makes sense. Like, your hormones are extremely important for your health. Like, your hormones are extremely important for your health, yeah? And on the course, we talk about the circadian rhythm. I wonder if I can quickly find that now. That image of the circadian rhythm. Courses, course, slides. What module do we go through circadian rhythm? Oh, I know. Circadian. Nah, that's not a good one. I might have to go on the course to find it. Okay. I'll log into the course to find it. But the circadian rhythm, yeah? Again, instead of me saying it, people that have done the course, you tell me something about the circadian rhythm. What is it? If someone was to ask you, what's the circadian rhythm? What is it?
Hormones that we release at different times of the day.
Yeah.
Serotonin in the morning, the melatonin in the evening.
Released. Exactly. And Sherelle put internal body clock. Yeah. So this is what tells us. This is what releases the hormones at the right time. So it's like, okay, those cells need those instructions right now. Those cells need those instructions. Now, your body's got lots and lots of hormones. Here's just an example. Look at the amount of hormones. You've got hormones that are released by your brain, hormones that are released by your thyroid, hormones that are released by your liver, IGF. For the people that watch my Black Men's Health webinar, you should be familiar with that. IGF, IGF-1, adrenal glands, stomach, pancreas, kidneys, testes, uterus, yeah? So all of these hormones need to be released at certain times and to give your cells certain instructions. And if I'm being honest, I'd say this is one of the main reasons why we as Black people get sick over here. Richie said, influence of the sun. Yes, because your hormones, your circadian rhythm is governed by the sun. Will we be going to female hormones? Yes, we will. Yeah, we will be going to female hormones. But what's interesting about the image that I just showed, it showed testes. Let me show it to you again. It showed testes, yeah? Share screen. Look at testes. It releases androgens that gets converted into testosterone. And this thing, estradiol, that gets converted into estrogen. So that means your testes and your ovaries produce estrogen. So whether we're talking about male hormones or female hormones, both men and women can experience a hormonal imbalance when these things are not getting released at the right time, yeah? And if we're sticking to like Black holistic health, Black people, we are rhythmic people. We rely on rhythm. It's not just dance. We rely on rhythm. Can anyone give me examples where we just rely on rhythm? Not just through dancing. What else is rhythmic to us?
Is it a heartbeat or a pulse?
Yeah, that's one.
The cells.
The sound of the rain.
The sun and the rain, yeah. So night and day, that's a rhythm.
Yeah.
That's a cycle, that's a rhythm. What else?
Your cells.
Your cells, yeah. They rely on a rhythm, a cycle. Your body clock, yeah. Anything else?
Is
When
our
you-
breath,
Sorry.
is our breath rhythmic as well?
Your breath is rhythmic, yeah. Your breath is rhythmic.
I was going to say, when you've got the different molecules of, trying to think, calcium and that, when they pass through the passive passageway, passively.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, because every mineral has like a partner, like a pair. So with calcium pairs up with magnesium. Calcium contracts things, magnesium relaxes things. So there's a cycle there between the two, yeah? Catherine said women's cycle, that's a rhythm. That's a rhythm that women rely on, yeah? And then obviously the obvious one is like dancing, but not just dancing. Black people, we're rhythmic with pretty much everything, not just dancing.
The way we walk also, we have a way of walking, because I know in Africa, they walk so regally, you know? So yeah, the way we walk, there is a rhythm to the way we walk.
There's a way, the rhythm to the way we walk. They say you got a bit of a swagger there. Like that's with black people. We got a bit of a rhythm to the way we walk. Not just the way we walk, but the way we
talk.
The way we talk as well.
Yeah, yeah.
What about sleep?
And sleep is a rhythm. Sleep is the arguably the most important one that takes us out of rhythm.
Okay.
Yeah. Sleep is arguably the most important one that takes us out of rhythm. So all of these things that we just mentioned, they have to be in rhythm. And what brings them out of rhythm the most? Yeah, Shireen said heartbeat. Yeah, most definitely. What brings them out of rhythm the most? Sleep. So if you're not getting sleep, the right amount of sleep, or you're not sleeping at the right time, then that's going to mess up your rhythm. Everything that we just discussed, everything that's in the chat right now, you're not getting the right amount of sleep, that's going to mess up your rhythm, which is going to mess up your circadian rhythm. All of a sudden, your hormones are releasing instructions at the wrong time. Now, I showed you your body and showed you the amount of hormones that have to get released. But let's just stick to the two main ones. We talked about sleep, yeah? Let's just stick to the two main ones. The two main ones that regulate your night and day cycle are what?
Melatonin and serotonin.
Melatonin and serotonin, yeah? And serotonin is released during the day, melatonin is released at night. So I say melatonin makes you feel mellow, yeah? Now, serotonin during the day, that's good. That's when that gets released, it's going to give your instructions to be alert because you're awake, alert. It's also going to give your instructions to do things that make you feel happy and that sort of stuff. Melatonin's job is to kind of do the opposite to your cells. Say to your cells, right, let's calm down now. Melatonin's job is to heal things at night. Melatonin's job is to heal your mitochondria at night. Melatonin's job is to make sure that things kind of slow down, your breathing rate and all them sort of things there. That's melatonin's job, to kind of be the parasympathetic to the serotonin, to slow things down, just so things can start to heal. Now, melatonin, that some people call it the dark hormone, because it has to get released at night. Melatonin has to get released at night. Now, if melatonin is getting released during the day, it can't release its maximum amount, and same with serotonin. If serotonin is getting released at night, it can't release the maximum amount. So what's going to mess up our circadian rhythm? Not getting enough sleep, yeah? Being on these things, yeah? Being on your laptop and that sort of stuff. All of these things are going to mess up the light that we're getting. Yes, unfortunately, that one as well. Working at night.
What is the right amount of sleep?
Okay, so that's a good question. Some people say maximum should be 8, yeah? and some people will say minimum should be 6. However, sometimes it's not the length of sleep, it's the quality of it. Yeah. So I always say to people, the way to monitor how deep you're sleeping is, can you remember your dreams? And how crazy are your dreams? Yeah, deep. REM sleep. Yeah. How deep are your dreams? How deep are your dreams? Like, how crazy are your dreams? And can you remember them when you wake up? Because most of us dream when we're sleeping, but sometimes we can't remember them when we wake up. That's excellent. If you're doing lucid dreaming, that's excellent. You're getting deep sleep. And the deeper the sleep, the more the body's going into healing. Yeah. I always go back, like, I love using Black Panther as the analogy, because in Black Panther, he literally goes through powers. For the people that haven't done the course before or hasn't done the course yet, you know that powers is plants, oxygen, water, exercise, rest, and sunlight. In the Black Panther movie, I say to people, he's a plant-based superhero because it's the heart-shaped herb that charges him up. So that's plants. All the exercise or fighting scenes are outside by the waterfall. That's oxygen and water. Then exercise, everyone exercised in Wakanda. That's the E. Then the R is rest. Now, after he takes the plant-shaped, the heart-shaped herb, what does Black Panther have to do? After he takes the heart-shaped herb, yeah, he has to rest. And then they bury him. And then where does he go? When he goes to sleep, he wakes up in the ancestral plane. That's his dream. That's melatonin. That's when you know melatonin's firing. He's talking to the ancestors when he goes to sleep. And it feels so real to him. That's the R, that's rest. That's so important for our health. And then when he wakes up, fully charged up, yeah? And then obviously S is sunlight, and they had the best sunlight in Wakanda. So even Black Panther goes through powers: plants, oxygen, water, exercise, rest, and sunlight, yeah? So important. So if you're working nights, like I always say, you can't cheat nature. You can't cheat the universe and Mother Nature. If you're waking up, or if you're up when the sun is down, and you're down when the sun is up, wow, then that means you're telling your body to release serotonin at night and melatonin during the day. Okay. That's what you're telling your body. And people have done that for many, many years. I'm sure you guys can tell me how many of you do you know, like a family member who has done night shifts for 10, 20, 30 years, yeah? Now here's a question. If you do know a family member that's done it for decades, how's their health? Chances are,
not good.
Chances are they're suffering from some form of metabolic disease. And that's just me guessing. Some form of metabolic disease. If they've been doing night shifts for more than 10 years, chances are they've gone to the doctor says they've got high blood pressure and or type 2 diabetes and or prostate cancer and or what are women suffering from, fibroids or whatever. All of these things, the precursor is a hormonal imbalance. Yeah, or high cholesterol. Yes, high cholesterol is a big one.
Would your sleep pattern being messed up also cause like IBS or Crohn's disease?
It could, yeah, because during the night, that's when your body, that's when melatonin's helping to heal stuff. Now, let's say you've got something going on with your digestive system, your gut. If anything's going on with your gut, yeah, the body's supposed to heal that at night, yeah? Now, guess what else messes up melatonin? when your body's having to do something like digest food at night, how many of us eat late? In other words, after 8 p.m.
Mm.
And then by 12, we're in bed laying down and the body can't, work that off.
Good, yeah.
So now your body, instead of your body doing the stuff that it's supposed to be doing, healing cells, healing tissues, healing organs, it's having to deal with this food that's in your stomach.
Mm. Mm.
So that's going to slow down the digestive system. That can lead to irritable bowels or Crohn's and all these other things that you're seeing a lot of us suffer from. And speaking of Black Panther, unfortunately, he passed away from colon cancer.
Mm.
So these things, they're all interconnected. This is the thing that got me so confused when I was learning about health, when I was going through my stuff. Like, they try to separate things. Like, if you've watched, I've got to put it up again, but if you've watched the Black Men's Health webinar, at the end of it, I linked all of the diseases that they tell us we suffer from. Type 2 diabetes, prostate cancer, high blood pressure, they're all one and the same. It's just how the symptoms manifest themselves in your body. So it might manifest itself as high blood pressure. It might manifest itself as prostate cancer or type 2 diabetes. But if I show you, I've got it here. If I just show you, I showed a diagram of how they're all interlinked, and it's linked with vitamin D as well. So let me just quickly show you that. Where am I going? Oh yeah.
Vitamin D from the diet. And to say pill will also help. They'd only need.
All right, so let me just share my screen. So this was from the webinar.
I recommend one that's the sun or exposed. Come see me in 3 weeks for a checkup. That's what I'd prescribe. But remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm just someone who does quick maths when it comes to science. Just looking to put 2 and 2 together when and where I see it. Like, here's what I see. A lack of vitamin D will lead to too much cholesterol. Too much cholesterol will lead to your liver and kidneys being overloaded. And a liver and kidney overload leads to a lack of vitamin D. Now let's go through each one individually. Let's start with lack of vitamin D. If you are lacking in vitamin D, you could suffer from a compromised immune system, hormonal imbalance, poor circulation, inflammation, bone and joint issues, high blood pressure, lowered testosterone, and poor sleep quality.
Now let me just pause it there. How many of us or how many of our family members suffer from these things? This is literally everything that we're suffering from. Compromised immune system, that's going to make us more susceptible to COVID. Hormonal imbalance, that's because vitamin D is a hormone. For the people who have just joined the course, you'll learn that vitamin D is a hormone, it's not a vitamin. It's probably the most important hormone for your body. So if you don't get this one, it's going to mess up all your other hormones. Poor circulation, that's because the sun and nitric oxide helps with circulation. Inflammation, any hormonal imbalance would just lead to confusion in the body. Confusion in the body is just inflammation, bone and joint issues, high blood pressure, lower testosterone, poor sleep quality. That's just from a lack of vitamin D. But remember, if you haven't got vitamin D, then the body's not converting cholesterol into vitamin D.
What about too much cholesterol? If you've got too much cholesterol floating around in your blood, you could potentially suffer from high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, hormonal imbalances, low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, type 2 diabetes, and obesity.
All right, so now that was for Black men. For Black women, just change. Oh, let me go back a bit. Low testosterone would mean high estrogen, and high estrogen would mean fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, all that stuff. Now, before we go on, just so we have an understanding on estrogen, let me see, where's the chat? Who can tell me what estrogen does to your cells, to cells in the body? What is it about estrogen that's so dangerous? Because
It causes inflammation.
It does cause inflammation, but do you know why? Why does it cause it? Because remember, estrogen is something that's natural in the body. It's one of the natural hormones that the body releases. Why is something that's natural causing us issues?
Too much of it, dominant.
It promotes growth. So
It promotes growth.
if there's too much, then there'll be too much growth going on.
That's it.
So fibroids can get bigger and things like that.
That's exactly it. It promotes growth. So it grows things, yeah? So if you got estrogen, this is the reason why estrogen is high during women's child bearing years, yeah? Estrogen is high during women's childbearing years because the main reason why you got estrogen is to help grow that fetus, that cell, yeah, into a human being. It helps to grow things, yeah? Even when you were younger and you were going through puberty, that's estrogen, yeah? That's what estrogen does. Now, so if estrogen is natural, then how come we're getting too much of it? If cholesterol is natural, how come we're getting too much of it as Black people?
Is it in our foods?
Yeah, because of what we're eating.
Yeah, because of what we're eating. Not just what we're eating, though.
Not enough sun.
Not enough sun to balance our hormones, because vitamin D is going to help balance our hormones. Not just what we're eating.
It's also maybe the body deficient in the things that we should have, whether it's minerals or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah, so some people put some answers in. Food products, yes. Hair products, yes. Skin products, yes. Plastics, yes. So you think about the person who's, vegan, who's trying to live a healthy life and like, yeah, I'm trying to lower my estrogen. It's not just the food.
Yeah.
It is not just the food. This is why we got the new students that are booked on. Hopefully you're slowly working through the modules, but that module 1 where I talk about the obesogenic environment, you got to understand it's not just food that's messing us up. Yeah. When we're eating, not enough movement, definitely. Yeah. So all of these things.
The lack of sleep could also
Say that again. I didn't get that. Sorry, say that again.
The lack of sleep, not sufficient sleep.
Yeah. Because again, if you're thinking about your hormones, if we're not getting sleep, that means we're not getting melatonin. Melatonin's, like, I'd say vitamin D is arguably the most important hormone. Second, I'd put melatonin. So vitamin D is arguably our most important hormone. And just that alone makes you think, why didn't they tell us this? Because why didn't they tell us that vitamin D is a hormone? Just that alone. Why are you telling us it's a vitamin when it's a hormone? And not to give any spoilers away, but who can remember from the course, what's its original name? Can anyone remember vitamin D's original name?
It's sulfarolol.
Close. I'm going to put it in the chat. Soltriol. Look at that. Soltriol. Sorry, that wasn't to everyone.
It's the sun, isn't it?
It is hormone, Sovel.
Soltriol. Yeah, they actually changed it from Soltriol to calcitriol. It was actually called Soltriol. Sol. What does sol mean? Sun. And then triol, anytime it ends in IOL, that's to do with hormone. Tree just means free. So vitamin D3, the sun hormone. That's what its original name was. The sun hormone. So simple. I wonder why they changed it. Because who needs the sun hormone? Those people who are out in the sun the most. Those people who are near the equator or around the equator, who always get the sun. That's their
Hey,
hormone.
Leah. Where are you?
So Sultrio,
Do me a favour.
that's very important, yeah? The sun hormone, very, very important. So I'd say that's our most important one. And then melatonin is our second most important one, yeah? And just that alone just will hopefully help you to understand why Black people in general have a hormonal imbalance here in the UK. Now, some people will say, well, we have a hormonal imbalance in other parts of the world as well. Well, let's go back to the webinar.
Is low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. And what about liver and kidney overload?
Now, here's where it can affect people all over the world. Because every time I do a webinar and I talk about vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D, people always say, well, what about the people in the Caribbean and Africa who are suffering from type 2 diabetes and the Black women that have got fibroids in other parts of the world? Well, it's all interlinked. Too much cholesterol. That's not just from a lack of sunlight. That's because of the foods that we're eating. So if you're in Jamaica, I'm from Jamaica. Every time I go to Jamaica, and my dad's from country. So when I go country, the people should be eating from the land. You're in the country. You're literally where all the plants are. And those people, they'll sell you fruits and vegetables, but they're not eating it themselves. They'll be selling you fruits and vegetables, and then you'll see their lunch, and it's jerk chicken and all the other stuff. Or Friday night, you go KFC. Friday night, go KFC in Jamaica. It's ram like a dance. I don't care, any part of Jamaica you go, KFC ram. So those people in Jamaica who should be just eating off of the land, the plants, the fruits, the vegetables, they're getting their high cholesterol from the foolishness that they're eating. So if they've got too much cholesterol, it's going to mess up their liver and kidneys, and there you go. There's the cascade effect. So it doesn't, the sun's not going to save us from everything. The sun's just part of the solution. It's not going to save us from everything. So this will mean that any Black person can have their circadian rhythm messed up from this stuff.
If your liver and kidneys are overloaded with toxins, with waste products, you could end up suffering from toxic liver, kidney failure, dialysis, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, prostate cancer, and poor sleep quality. You see how all these things are interrelated?
So, where am I? Okay. My family in Barbados don't like drinking water. See, look at that. We've got people who live in Barbados and they don't like drinking water. People who live in the Caribbean, they don't eat the fruits and vegetables from the Caribbean. You know what's crazy from the Caribbean? You go to the supermarket. So you're in the Caribbean, yeah? You're in the Caribbean where they've got amazing plants, they've got amazing herbs, fruits, vegetables. You go to the supermarket and the fruits and vegetables have been imported in. So the fruits and vegetables that are in the supermarket are not from Jamaica. I don't know if that's the same in Barbados, but you go to Jamaica and you go to the supermarket, the fruits and vegetables that you're buying are not from Jamaica. What sense does that make? In Ghana as well. It's ridiculous. 90% of the food is imported.
It's madness.
90% of the food is imported. Go rice and tomatoes, yet we import these products. So it's not just in the Caribbean then. In parts of Africa, they're doing the same thing. So we as Black people, think about it, we're rhythmic people, yeah? We as Black people, we're rhythmic people, yeah? and we're not eating our own food. We're not getting the sunlight that we should be getting. Yeah. And now,
That's
because
because
of what's going on. Sorry, what was you going to say?
that's because we have a mind, well, some of us, or the majority of us, we tend to believe that the Eurocentric way of doing things is better than the African way of doing things. So therefore, I remember as a child growing up, we had our own livestock. We would kill our own livestock. We would grow our own food. But yet, when people visited us, they would appreciate the things from the supermarket more than the organic things that we actually presented to them. And I think that it's just been, it's perpetuated and it's grown even more bigger now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The more Eurocentric, better. That's what they believe.
And that is so unfortunate.
It is.
That we don't even believe in our own stuff. We don't believe in our own stuff. So, what was it? Yesterday? Was yesterday Black Pound Day? Someone help me out. Was it yesterday? Black Pound Day? The thing that Swiss started? Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday, yeah.
Okay, so yesterday was Black Pound Day. So a great initiative started by Swiss from Solid that Black people, we should basically rely on ourselves. Yeah. So when it comes to businesses, we should be supporting Black businesses, buying and selling off of Black businesses. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't sell to other people, but in order for the Black pound to grow, we should be buying and selling off of each other. We can sell to everyone, but we want to be supporting each other with regards to our businesses. In other words, relying on self with regards to our own businesses. Well, take that mindset and apply it to your health, yeah? So we're talking about hormonal imbalances. Now, if you rely on yourself, rely on your own body, that means it's going to be your own hormones giving your own cells instructions. Just makes sense, right? There's nothing confusing about that. Your hormones are going to give your cells instructions. And it's going to make sense because it's your hormones from your body giving your cells. So what messes up Black people? When we start taking instructions or hormones from something outside of us, yeah? Now, before I continue, I'm not saying to anyone to come off of medication or anything like that. I'm just explaining to you what's happening. So for example, insulin is a hormone. It gives your cells instructions. What's the instruction? It tells your cell to open up for glucose to come in. That's the instruction. Open up. We're outside. Not. Open up. I've got some glucose for you. That's what insulin does. It takes the glucose out of the blood and puts it in your cell. That's the instruction from your own body. Yeah. Now, if you are on insulin injections or you're on insulin for diabetes, remember, insulin is a hormone. Hormones come from mammals, yeah? So if that insulin is not from your own body, that means you're taking insulin from another animal. That means you're getting insulin instructions from another animal. And usually the insulin is from two places. It's either bovine or porcine. Porcine. What's bovine?
Cows.
Cows. So again, I'm not telling anyone to stop it because I know some people who are on insulin, but just so you know, your human cells are getting cow instructions. And then what's porcine?
Pork. Pork.
So again, I'm
or
not
pig.
saying, yeah, pig, same thing. So you're getting you're getting pig instructions to your human cells. The pig instruction is open up. Yeah. So that's going to create a little bit of confusion inside of the body. Yeah. Anytime you're on dairy and you're drinking a lot of milk, there's hormones in the milk. So then you're getting the instructions from that. Yeah. That's what it is. That's why the baby cow is drinking the milk, because it's giving the baby cow instructions to grow as big as a cow. So that, and then we wonder why we're suffering from obesity and that sort of stuff. What am I doing across? Yes, this topic is covered. Yeah. Can you repeat what magnesium does, please? Magnesium is the opposite to calcium. Basically, all the minerals have like pairs. Because again, it's like a balance. It's like dancing. When you dance, again, going back in the day, every time you go to a dance, you want to dance with someone. You don't want to dance by yourself. You want to dance with someone, yeah? You're dancing. That's what your minerals do. They don't just do a job by themselves. They want to do it with someone. And it's kind of yin and yang, you know, masculine, feminine. One's going to do one thing, the other one's going to do the other. So calcium, in particular for muscles, calcium contracts muscles. Magnesium relaxes muscles. Anyone had an Epsom salt bath? Epsom salt bath. Why would you do an Epsom salt bath?
Isn't that for relaxation?
For relaxation.
For sports, etc.
Epsom salt, that's magnesium. That's just magnesium, yeah? So Epsom salts, those sort of things, they help to relax things, not just muscles though, organs and tissues as well. And for detoxing, yeah, it opens up your pores and that sort of stuff. So
And I was also told that the best way for magnesium to get into the body is through the skin.
that's one of the easiest ways, yeah. One of the easiest ways. Like for the people who have done the course, you know that magnesium is the core element in green plants. So the best way to get magnesium in your body is to juice green vegetables and drink that. But yeah, because magnesium can come and your skin can absorb it quite easily, then yeah, that's why doing like Epsom salt baths are really good, because then you can get the magnesium coming through your skin and that. And it's going to relax things, and not just relax, like relax your pores, open up your pores and that sort of stuff. So for detoxing, getting toxins out and that sort of stuff. Iron needs vitamin C to absorb better. Yep, that's right. Iron definitely needs vitamin C to absorb better. Yeah, so that's what we need to understand. So going back to the hormones, we need to try and balance them back by, seems simple, but increasing our powers. So plant-based diet is going to help. Getting fresh air is going to help. But the main thing is, if vitamin D is one of the most important hormones and melatonin is the second most, then one of the easiest, well, not easiest ways, but quickest ways to try and balance your hormones is getting sunlight first thing in the morning, yeah? Getting sunlight first thing in the morning. So when you wake up, what's the first light that goes through your eye? Now, we're not aware of this. I always say to people, anything that is outside of your awareness is outside of your control. What's the first light that goes through your eye when you wake up? Now, I'm going to tell you what mine is. Sometimes, yeah? Because I'm aware of it, so I try not to do it. But sometimes the first light that goes in through my eye is this light. Synthetic light, fake light, blue light, yeah? This is gonna mess up my hormones, yeah? The first light that should go through your eye should be sunlight. Sunlight should be your eye's breakfast. That's what your eyes should be consuming for breakfast. Like your eyes should be, what are we having for breakfast today? The same thing we have every day. It should be sunlight, yeah? But a lot of us, we use this to wake us up. So as soon as we wake up, we're on it. Now that light is going through our eye. Now here's the thing with light, yeah? I think I put it in the WhatsApp group, all the things that disrupt our hormones. Light is one of the biggest ones. Yeah, so I put in the WhatsApp group, smartphones, laptops, LED lights, fluorescent lights, all of these things. We don't realize how important sunlight is. So when we're getting all of these other lights, we're thinking, oh, it's just light. No, your body doesn't want this light. Your body wants sunlight. Your body can't process this light. Your body processes sunlight. So anytime where getting anything other than sunlight through our eyes, it's going to damage not only our circadian rhythm, but our eyes, yeah? And obviously because of COVID and that, I'm not traveling to and from work anymore. But when I was, every time I'm on the underground, I'd look around at Black people, and it would always astonish me the amount of Black people who are wearing glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Because we as Black people, where something's going on, and yes, it can be genetics as well and hereditary, but generally speaking, if you just think about melanin, and melanin absorbs sunlight, that means if you've got black or dark brown eyes, you should have the strongest eyes. So why are so many of us got on glasses? And it's because of that invisible killer or invisible thing that we don't think is damaging us. And it's all of this other light. Yeah, all of this other light. And if you get a UVB lamp, yeah, you could potentially get that, especially now that we're out of the UVB range. UVB is between April and September, so now we're out of that. You might have to look to get a UVB lamp to kind of last you between September and April. But yeah, those things are messing up our circadian rhythm. Those things are messing up our circadian rhythm, and we're not getting sunlight through the eye. Yes.
Leon, are we still getting vitamin D now in September with, you know, the sunlight? The sun's not so strong, is it? So do we still get the vitamin D?
No, because vitamin D gets, the cholesterol in underneath your skin gets converted to vitamin D from UVB light. In, around the equator, they get UVB light all year round. Let me see if I can show you a diagram of this, because this is quite powerful when it comes to understanding UVB light. But in the UK, there's a range. Let me see, UVB map. No. Let me see if I can just find it on Google. So, UVB skin map. Let me see if I can. Zones. No. All right, here we go. Oh, it's too small. Let me see if I can show it on there. Can everyone see this? This image here? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks.
It's good. Okay. Well, let me see if I can see this. No, that one ain't clear. That one ain't clear. All right, so just like the underground, the world is split up into zones. So you've got zone 1, one can see zone 1, yeah? Zone 2, and zone 3, yeah? Now the thing with zone 1 is that's the equator, yeah? So in zone 1, they get UVB all year round in zone 1. UVB all year round in zone 1, yeah? So just look at the countries that are in zone 1. You know, the Caribbean's over here, got Africa, boom, 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 yeah? Zone 1. Oh, Australia, yeah? Now, they tell us that UV ultraviolet rays are dangerous, yeah? and ultraviolet rays cause skin cancer. We're not seeing that in zone 1. Actually, we are in one country, this one right here. I wonder why. We're seeing skin cancer in this one. Not here, not here, not here, not in the Caribbean. So zone 1, they get UVB exposure all year round. So if ultraviolet rays were extremely dangerous, those dark-skinned people should all be dropping dead from skin cancer. Yeah. Zone 2, they get it for most of the year. Yeah. And in zone 3, they hardly get it.
And that's where the skin cancer.
Where's the UK?
Zone 3, yeah.
Zone 3, you can't even see it. Zone 3, yeah? So if we're lucky, we'll get vitamin D or UVB rays between April and September. What's the date now? 6th of September. So now we're going into that realm where we're not getting vitamin D. Now, who's that going to benefit? Because remember, lack of vitamin D, compromised immune system, all of those things. What agenda is that going to benefit? Right now, when we're going from
COVID agenda.
That's it.
COVID.
Right. So every year, without fail, not just Black people, everyone starts to get sick. September, October, November, December. Think about Christmas. Think about around that time, everyone's sick. Everyone's got the flu or cold or whatever. That's due to a lack of vitamin D. Yeah. Lack of vitamin D, compromised immune system, flu season. Yeah. But this year, oh, they've got someone to blame. This year, any one of us gets sick, COVID. Second wave, COVID. Yeah. That's what they're going to be doing. So we need to be aware of that. So what things can we do during this period then? Try and balance our hormones. So balancing our hormones, making sure sunlight is the first light that goes through your eye. Sunlight should be the first light that goes through your eye. Yeah. And obviously increasing your powers, but making sure that you're getting the right type of sleep. So thinking about what time you're going to go to bed and trying to prepare for that going to bed. Yeah. I fail a lot of the times, but I try and shut off all electronics by like 9. So I've got an hour left. I try and shut off all, so TV off, laptop off, phone off, not on silent, off. Yeah, I try. I fail a lot of the nights, but I try and say, right, 9 o'clock, shut everything off. Now what am I left with? Okay, I can read a book or something because I can't watch TV or YouTube or anything. And then that helps me to kind of prepare for sleep. Because if you're up on this and this is, the light from this is the equivalent of like 12 noon during the day. It's that bright. We don't think it's that bright, but it is that bright. So if at 12 noon, your body's supposed to be releasing serotonin, it's now 8 o'clock and I'm looking at my phone like this, my body's gonna start thinking, must be 12 noon.
What's that, Leon? Sorry, brother. Is it even if you turn the light all the way down, it's still the equivalent of 12 noon? You know when you turn the light down on the screen?
Yeah. That will help, definitely. And that's something I always forget to do, like turn the light down. There's night modes, there's things that you can do. I know there's some people who wear, what they call the blue blockers, like the shades and that sort of stuff. So yeah, the blocker apps and that. So there are things that you can do to kind of protect yourself. Also, the shungite crystals. Yeah. Shungite crystals on the phone as well, doing those things. So there are things that you can protect yourself. But with me, because like if I'm on it, I'm doing work, I won't even realize it. It's past 12 and I'm still on it. So I try to say to myself, right, 9 o'clock, 9:30, shutting everything off. Do you get me? Okay.
Leon, what about all those students that have to study university, A-levels, GCSEs? I mean, they normally sort of study way into the night, don't they?
Yeah. They'll do it at night and stay up and be on their laptops and that sort of stuff. That's the thing. When we're young, we we feel like we're invincible. We do these things that are against nature, and we think, it's not gonna do us nothing. Like I used to, when I was younger, I used to eat junk food because I seriously thought it's not gonna do anything to me. No, I actually had that thought. There'd be times where, because my mum, on the course, you guys know I do the red, amber, green. Red is foods that you should just be eating once or twice a week. Amber's 3 or 4, and then green's unlimited, yeah? Well, when I was younger, I don't know if it was the same with you, but when I was younger, it's like my mum stuck to that just naturally anyway, because Fridays used to be junk food day. Fridays used to be junk food day. But any food that a family member couldn't finish, so my sister couldn't finish her chips, or my mum couldn't finish her burger, or I'll be like, right, I'm taking that. You know, don't worry about me. I'm fit and healthy, don't worry. And I'll just be eating it because I'm thinking it's not going to do anything to me. It catches up to you in later life. And that's the same with light as well. So all of these lights that we're taking in. Now remember, melanin. Melanin absorbs what type of light? What does melanin absorb?
Sunlight.
All light.
All light, yeah. So if melanin absorbs all light, let's just go with the picture. Let's go with the electromagnetic spectrum. Because this is one of the main things that we need to get from melanin, electromagnetic spectrum. If we understand this, we'll understand how, one, powerful we are, and how, two, how susceptible we are to disease. What's a good one? All right, let's just go with this one. This is the one that I show on the course, but that's too small. All right, so remember, this is the electromagnetic spectrum. These, we can't see them. Cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared, microwaves, radio waves, but they're light. It's just light we can't see, yeah? So they're classified as black light, yeah? So the majority of the universe is black. The only part we can see is this tiny spectrum called the visible spectrum, and that's where we see light. Now, melanin can absorb all light, yeah? The pheomelanin can't. Pheomelanin can only absorb parts of it, but eumelanin, the dark melanin, can absorb all light, yeah? And if that's the case, that means that we have the ability to become the most enlightened, because we're absorbing the most light. And I always say light is information. Each one of these vibrational frequencies give our body information that it can use to help keep us healthy, yeah? So light is information. The more light we absorb, that's the reason why any religion you subscribe to, they associate light with God or divinity, yeah? He is light, the light, yeah? The light is to do with enlightening, becoming the one, becoming the highest being. If we as Black people can absorb all light, that means we have the potential to become the most enlightened beings on the planet. However, if we have the ability to absorb all light, guess what other light we're absorbing?
Sure.
This, what I'm on right now. And there's a certain light or certain vibrational frequency that if it's not started yet, is about to start, you know, which will be absorbing, we as Black people, we be absorbing more than anyone else.
5G.
Right. So when they press go on that, which is soon, because they're installing it everywhere, when they press go on that, it's going to affect who the most? The ones who can absorb the most light. So when it comes to our health issues, we have the ability to be the healthiest human beings on the planet or the sickest, because we're absorbing the sickest frequencies. Pescatarians and fibroids. What about pescatarians and fibroids? What's the question? No problem. All right. So, does anyone else? How can you protect yourself from 5G when it's switched on? Whew. Well, going through everything that we went through today with regards to hormonal imbalances, so trying to ensure that your hormones stay balanced. So the question was, just in case no one's reading the chat, how can we protect ourselves from 5G when it is switched on? Shungite crystals. So I've got shungite crystal. I've got like a pendant for my necklace. I've got a big shungite pyramid in my room to balance out the frequencies in my room. I haven't got one on my phone. I want to get the one that you can put on the back of your phone as well. So there's that as well. But yeah, trying to balance out your hormones and doing the simple things. Again, the first light that goes through your eye should be sunlight.
What about the salt lamps? Are they effective?
Yeah, I've never used one, but I've heard people that say that they're effective, definitely. Okay. I've never used one, but yeah, I've heard people say they're effective. Does fish affect hormones adversely? Well, the stuff that they're putting in the oceans, they put plastics in the oceans and there's mercury in there. So if we're consuming fish, that can affect our hormones as well. Yeah. And it depends on what parts of the world, because the sea is not as polluted in certain other parts of the world. So certain parts of the world you go and you might be able to consume fish and it's not a problem. But in an obesogenic environment, us consuming fish is gonna mess up our hormones, just like us consuming cow milk and dairy and all that other stuff. It's all filled with hormones. How can we check if the things for the back of the phone work? You might have to go with how you feel. And I know there's devices that can check by the frequency of the phone and see, but you'd have to, I don't know, do your research on that. But I just go by how I feel. I know that I don't feel good when this is next to my head. I just don't feel good. It can give me a headache if I'm on the phone for too long. So I'm always on loudspeaker and that sort of stuff. So I'd say just get a decent shungite from a reliable source and go from there. Oh, you can download it. Oh, that's great. Yeah, if you can download it, then everyone gets that. That can be like your Bible, like it is mine. You can just have it on your computer. But even that, I think that's great because a lot of us, we use our laptops, we use our phones, and we read off of these things. Yeah, and I do as well. Like I read off of PDFs and all that sort of stuff. But think about what we just said today with regards to hormones and hormonal imbalances. Yeah. So we just said that things like this affect our hormones, things like this affect our hormones, and then we're going to download a huge PDF and read from the thing that's going to affect our hormones. So it's always best to get the book. It's always best to get the book. But like I always tell people, I'm a fish in a fishbowl as well. This stuff affects me as well. Yeah, it's better to get the book, but that's why, what's the craze now? Is it Kindle? I never got into the Kindle thing. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I never got into the Kindle thing. Yeah. All right, is there any other questions on hormones? Let me see if I've covered everything. Oh, I didn't touch on medication. I touched on insulin, but a lot of medication act as hormones, just so you know. In other words, as soon as you consume that medication, the hormone that was supposed to be telling those cells what to do is now the medication. The medication says, hey, we got this. Now the medication is telling your cells what to do. Where did you get the book?
So with regards to, what's the thing called? Fibroids, how would you eradicate that?
Fibroids, we talked about that last week.
I missed out last week.
Oh, you missed out last week.
Yeah,
Are you in the WhatsApp group?
I am, yes.
Let me see if yeah, so in the WhatsApp group, I posted about natural remedies. And it talked about oral contraceptives. So that was, you got to think, for the people who are thinking, why are black women suffering so much? How many of you, and I put this in the group, how many of you were advised to take contraceptive pills when you were younger? Yeah. And obviously the black hair products and all that sort of stuff. So foods that make fibroids grow include wheat, because it's GMO, soy and all the soy products, processed meat, milk and dairy, alcohol. Now, for the people, for black women who are suffering from fibroids, they'll tell you to either leave it and then it will grow because people don't understand what estrogen is actually doing, or they'll tell you to cut it out. They'll tell you to have surgery, yeah? What they don't tell you is that when you go through menopause, what happens? What happens with estrogen?
It lessens.
It shrinks, it lessens.
Yeah, it lessens.
It stops.
Okay, yes.
Because why is the woman's body producing estrogen? One, to help her go through puberty, and two, to help her have a baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you go through menopause, menopause is a woman's body saying, right, the baby making time is over. You don't need estrogen anymore. So it stops estrogen. And the stopping of one of its most powerful hormones is how you get all the effects of menopause, yeah, or the symptoms of menopause. Like, wow, what's going on? Because it's a huge hormonal imbalance, because now you're not getting one of the biggest hormones that your body was releasing, yeah? So do you know how many black women in my family, when I started talking about fibroids and all that, they'd be like, yeah, I had it. And I'd be like, what, did you have surgery? No, I just went after menopause. Yeah, because the menopause will shrink it.
Yeah.
The menopause alone will shrink it because the body's not producing estrogen. Now, if the menopause is not shrinking it, that means you're getting estrogen from other places, and lots of it. Fat cells, good one, Cheryl. Fat cells release estrogen. So if after menopause, your fibroids are still big and painful and they haven't shrunk, then that means you got to go through the list that I put in the WhatsApp group. So wheat, soy, processed meat, milk and dairy, alcohol, all of these things have estrogen in it. So what can shrink fibroids? Fruits and vegetables, plant-based diet, green vegetable juices like kale, celery, cucumber.
Sorry, Leon.
Yeah.
What about somebody who's never had menopause?
Who's never had it?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Leon.
Yes.
Charles here.
Hey, Charles.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, interesting conversation and lecture here. And you know, from Ankara, for those that are listening and don't know me, I'm out on the road driving at the moment, but I'm in tune to what's going on because it's most interesting. And for those who are worried about fibroids, as well as what you've posted in the group, which I think was very good, you put in that post in the group. If they go to ankara.com, they'll see there's a product called the J-Lav gel. And women have combined that with high quality moringa and have had amazing results with their fibroids. These are women that have not gone into menopause yet. And, you know, if they go to www.ankara.com, they'll see there's also 5-star Trustpilot reviews on these natural products. So, you know, Leon is absolutely correct about what he said about the menopause, but answering the sister's question there, you know, where she said, what if you have not gone into menopause? You know, the body is capable of healing itself. We just have to basically provide the body with the right nutrients and minerals required to activate the body to start, I say, functioning correctly. And in functioning correctly, then we start to get rid of a lot of these issues.
That's right.
Yeah, so if you're worried about fibroids, you know, and you're not near menopause or into menopause, visit ankara.com, see the testimonies from the customers are saying, because I think what they say is more valuable than what I say. And, you know, there are solutions out there.
Thank you, brother. For the people who don't remember, pretty much every week I talk about Ankara to get your CMOS and to get your Moringa. So that is the owner of Ankara, Charles. So, yeah.
Sorry, can I intercept? The reason why I say that, because it's not like leading up to menopause or not coming. It just hasn't come at all. It's almost as if it's an inherited thing. So I'm just wondering what other things could happen to you, seeing that you don't have the menopause, if there's anything. All right, put it this way. My mother's never had it. My sister's never had it. I haven't heard of my gran having it. I haven't had it. So this is why I'm actually asking that.
Do they have fibroids?
No, nothing.
Okay, so they don't have an issue then.
Sorry.
They don't have the issue.
Yeah. So maybe we have to look into what they're eating and their diet. And that could be key to why, you know, in this time, they're not having it, because I think we're in a time now more than ever where more of our sisters are coming up with these fibroids.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you.
So I think you need to share the family secret of what you're all eating.
Exactly. If they don't have fibroids and they're not going through menopause, they're good.
Yeah, they're doing something that needs to be shared.
Yeah, mate. Listen,
I'll try to find out. I'm not too sure.
Share the secret, mate. Seriously, share the secret, because if they haven't gone through menopause and they haven't experienced fibroids or anything like that, they're doing something good. And what's funny is a lot of the times when Black people are healthy, especially into later age, they don't even realize it, but they're increasing their powers. They're on a plant-based diet. They're getting lots of fresh air, oxygen, lots of omega-3. They don't even realize it. When I was younger, my mum used to feed me cod liver oil. I was like, this is nasty. I don't want to take it. Turns out cod liver oil is high in omega-3. My mum didn't even understand the science. Omega-3 is amazing for inflammation. Now, I don't take it anymore. I'll take the CMOS and the dose for my omega-3 and that sort of stuff. But the fact that our elders knew about this stuff without the science, it's just crazy.
Leon,
yes.
do you can you? Oh, what's this noise? Can children suffer from physical growth due to imbalance in hormones?
Yeah. So if young black girls are starting to develop at a very young age, that's a hormone imbalance. So if you see a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and she don't look 10, 11, she looks 17, 18, that's a hormonal imbalance.
What happens if they're not looking older, but they're younger?
They can have things, well, when they're going through puberty, they're going to have a hormonal imbalance anyway. That's the reason why they come out with spots, and a lot of things are changing. It's their body trying to balance out the hormones and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, you'll see things like that as well. Okay. But whether they're young or old, the things that I went through today, those are the things that are going to affect their hormones. So the synthetic light, the foods that we're eating, the chemicals. Yeah, unfortunately, chicken is full of hormones as well. So all of those things are going to affect their hormones. And again, sometimes we don't see it when we're young. It's only when we're older. So for example, young girls, if I know a lot of when I was younger, a lot of the girls were saying that they're on contraceptives and they were like 13 years old. The contraceptive pill is full of estrogen. Full of estrogen, yeah? Now, that's gonna make things grow and make fibroids grow, but it doesn't grow overnight. It's just like me, if I smoked a cigarette right now, I'm not gonna get lung cancer tomorrow. If I smoke 2 cigarettes, like tomorrow and Tuesday, I'm not gonna get lung cancer on Wednesday. But if I continue to smoke it over time, it might happen. Well, it's the same with the contraceptive pill. The contraceptive pill is full of estrogen. So when Black women at that young age were taking it, I get the people who really know what's in it, they were literally thinking to themselves, okay, I'm going to give you this, and I'll probably see you in about 20 years time for fibroid surgery or something like that. Because that's how long it takes. Like most of the black women who are suffering from fibroids, how old are they? Probably in their 30s. And that's because the fibroid grew like this and grew big. Do you know how big fibroids can get? Show you a quick picture.
Big like oranges.
Look at that.
I've actually seen a fibroid which is basically the size of a watermelon.
Yeah. So those things, look how long it would take to grow to that. Take years and years and years, and then when it gets to that point now, whew. So yeah, checking to see if I've answered all the questions. Charles put his number in there. People were asking about Charles's number. So you can, Charles, I need to speak to you, bro. I want to speak to you about certain things. I might give you a call tomorrow or later. But yeah, check out some of his products. Like I always say, if I'm gonna supplement, if I'm taking supplements, I'm gonna take it from a black-owned company. So I get my products from him. All right, thanks everyone for joining. I know some people didn't get in because we reached our capacity, but remember it's every week. Big up the new students who are booked onto the course. Take your time going through the course. Again, these Q&As will help, yeah? Make sure you're on our Facebook group as well. Let me just put that in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
You. And you, thank you.
Okay, yep. Thanks very much.
Leanne, I need you to link me to the WhatsApp as well.
WhatsApp as well, okay.
Yeah, because I don't have it.
Anyone who wants to be added to the WhatsApp, just message me now. Private message me your full name and number, please. Anyone who wants to be added to the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Leon.
thank you, Leon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Leon.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Have a good week. Yeah?
Yeah, and have a good week, Leon.
Thanks,
have a good
bye.
week, too. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
So I'm trying to do it.
Just need your name as well. I've got A. I don't know who A is. Just give me your full name, please. Just so I know who you are.
Sorry, is that me you're talking to?
I've got quite a few people have messaged me privately. I've got Aaliyah. I've got someone called A. Shireen. Another Shireen. Israel. So just your full name. And once you've done that, thank you very much. I'll see you guys soon.